Two Arizona rivers landed on the list of the 10 most endangered rivers in the United States this week. The drought-ravaged Colorado River was number 1, and southern Arizona's San Pedro River was number 8 in the annual report by the group American Rivers. Alexia Stanbridge has more from our Washington bureau.
Millions of people in 7 western states depend on the Colorado River for drinking water, farming, and business. That demand was already stressing the river, and that was before the 20-year drought that has been gripping parts of the West.
Our reality now is that we are a hotter, drier place with less water. And over the last 22 years, since 2000, the river has lost 20% of its flow.
The American Rivers report said the Colorado was already overtapped, with too many people pulling too much water. The drought has only made things worse, with record low levels now in Lake Powell and Lake Mead.
The crisis is happening. We need to acknowledge and learn to live with the river that we have.
Matt Rice said going forward, residents will need to plan for a river in a hotter, drier climate.
I'd suggest this is not a drought because a drought implies that there's an end to it. So as many climate scientists are saying, they're using a new term. This is the aridification of the West.
While lack of surface water is the problem for the Colorado, the San Pedro River in southern Arizona faces a different problem. People are pumping too much of the groundwater that supports the river in dry times.
Groundwater flows are directly connected to surface water river flows.
Experts said the rivers can be helped with changes to state and federal law that would restrict water use, and by investing some of the billions in the recently passed infrastructure bill to plan for a tighter water supply.
This report is a blazing alarm for all of us to think about how we can do more to conserve water, to protect the river and the values that it brings across the whole basin.
Gonzalez said it's in everyone's interest to act now.
These waterways are so interconnected and, everyone's, for the most part, downstream from someone.
Experts say that everyone can help by paying attention to policies and trying to cut back the water your household uses. In Washington, Alexia Stanbridge, Cronkite News.
This is not the first time the Colorado River has been on the most endangered list. It was also number 1 in 2013 for many of the same reasons. The biggest difference is that there are millions more people relying on the river now than there were back then.